Okay. There we go. We are now recording it. Okay, Mahana, would you like to? Sorry?
Hi.
Hello. Nice to meet you. You're Mahana?
Yeah.
Hello.
I really like your interactive part of your Inanimate Alice stories. I think it's really fun and cool that you put that in.
Good. Good. And I like that as well.
Where did you get the idea from Inanimate Alice?
Well, let's think. I thought the idea of telling the story about a girl growing up through a series of episodes was a good idea, and that to sort of use the technology to try to tell a story about a girl who likes technology was something that really interested me. And it just when Chris Joseph and I first started making the episodes, it just seemed like a good idea to tell that particular story. And I liked the idea of a character who lives all over the world as well, whose family moves a lot. That was, for me, that was a fun part of the story as well.
Thank you.
Let's introduce yourself quickly, sir.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Hi. My name is Zachariah, and I
Hello,
really enjoyed reading your Inanimate Alice.
Good, thank you.
Who inspired the names of the characters?
Well, Alice, you can't really have a girl character called Alice without thinking about Alice in Wonderland. So there's that Lewis Carroll story, Alice in Wonderland. So there's a bit of that in it, but also I just Alice is a fairly common girl's name here in England, so it seemed like a good name from that point of view as well. We like the name Brad because we thought it sounded quite American, and the sort of idea that that Alice has an imaginary friend who's an American sort of appealed to us. Alice's mum is called Ming because she's Chinese. She has a Chinese background. And her dad's called John, just because, again, that seemed like a kind of ordinary English name. So those are the main characters' names, and we just wanted names that we thought people would find easy to stick to those particular characters.
Thank you for your time.
Okay.
Who's next? So remember to introduce yourself.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
My name is Phoenix.
Sit up a bit.
Hello.
Why do you never show the faces of the characters?
Well, that happened initially because we didn't have enough money to pay to buy like photographs of actors or anything like that. We didn't have enough money to commission drawings for each character. But in fact, once we realized that we couldn't afford to do that, it actually seemed to become quite a good idea and quite a useful thing for the stories overall. One of the reasons that I like the fact that you never see their faces is because I think it makes the stories more like reading a book in a way. You have to imagine what Alice looks like. You do see the drawing of Brad, but it's quite a simple drawing. But you have to imagine what all the people look like, and for me that was an important thing. And that's something that I've done in lots of other digital fiction stories that I've written since Inanimate Alice as well.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is Zainab. And
Hello, Zainab.
What is Brad supposed to represent?
Well, for me, Brad represents Alice's imagination. I think because of the way that her father, because of the way they move all over the world because of her father's job, she doesn't get much chance to make friends with kids, really. She doesn't get to meet anyone her own age very often. And so I think really, even though she gets on well with her parents, and she has lots of things that she's interested in doing, she's also a bit lonely, as you would be if you lived in places where there wasn't anybody your own age. And also that thing about how she doesn't go to school, which a lot of kids think would be fantastic, not going to school. But in fact, at the end of the day, what it also means is that she doesn't have any friends. She doesn't get to know people her own age. So that's why we thought of Brad and thought of the idea of her having a friend who could help her, but also just the idea of she uses her player, her handheld player all the time, and so the idea is that Brad sort of inhabits the player. He kind of lives inside the player and communicates with her through it. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Good.
Hi again.
Hello.
How has Inanimate Alice been recognized internationally?
Well, it's got a really large international audience now, which is great for us. You're in New Zealand. I'm here in England. There's a lot of people who use Inanimate Alice in the US. Got a lot of American readers, Australian readers, lots of readers in South America, all over the place. And I think part of the reason why it's become an international story is because of the, I don't know if you've noticed on the episodes, you can read them in other languages as well as English. Have you noticed that?
No.
Well, there's versions of the stories in Spanish, German, French, and Italian. So each of those episodes, the first 3 episodes, is available basically in 5 languages. So that's part of what's really helped with getting an international readership for the stories.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, my name is Damon.
Hi, Damon.
Hi. Okay, I really enjoyed watching the episodes. It's been very inspiring, and it's always making you guess about what it'll be the next episode about.
Good.
So my question is, will there be new main characters in the next episode?
In episode 5,
Yes.
which we have been planning and working on bits and pieces for a long time now. Alice's friends, those are the main new characters, because she's finally, in episode 4, she starts to go to school. So episode 5 is also set in the same town. So she has those friends, and she has some, by then she has some really good friends. She's a teenager, so she's got, her friends are teenagers as well. So that's the main new characters. Will be 1 or 2 of those friends of hers.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name's Amber, and I just want to ask you, what was the most exciting thing creating an Inanimate Alice?
About writing it?
Yeah.
Did you say?
Yes.
I think for me the most exciting and also challenging thing was the whole business about getting the games into it and trying to make the games more interesting with each episode. So in the first episode, there's just a little game, very simple, because that's what Alice, aged 8, would be able to make herself. But as she gets older, the games get more complicated, and for me, that was a really, as a writer, that was a really challenging and interesting bit, trying to figure out how to make those games work inside the story. But I just, for me, it's great fun telling stories, and working on stories that get to use music and sound as well is a lot of fun. I know that your class has been making some episodes, haven't you?
Yes.
And have you enjoyed the whole thing about putting together images and sound as well as the writing?
Yes, it's hard, but we got onto it.
Good.
Okay, who's next?
Thank you.
Hello again.
Hello again.
What has been the hardest part of creating Inanimate Alice?
For me, I think the hardest thing, the most frustrating thing, is how long it's taken us to make episode 5. Because in terms of actually making the episodes, they're fun to make. They're fun to make. They're work. They're definitely work, but they're a lot of fun because of working on it with my friend Chris Joseph. So that whole side of it's great. It's mainly the frustration of waiting for there to be enough money for us to be able to do episode 5, really, and the frustration that we have over the fact that we have all these readers who are waiting for that next episode.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name's Camilla. Really like how you put games in it to make it more fun and interesting.
Good.
What advice would you give for telling a good story?
For telling a good story. I think the most important thing is a good character. Good character who you're really interested in, and somebody who you find interesting enough to write about. I think that's really the key. If you can get a good character, then once you put them into an interesting situation, that's the beginning of a story, and from there, the rest of the story should pan out from there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you. Hi.
Hello.
When will episode 5 come out?
Well, we are really hoping that it's going to be in the next 6 months. We've got quite a lot of it already done. It's written, and some bits of it are made. So I'm just really hoping that the next 6 months we'll get to actually put it together and finish it and get it out there, because I know that people have been waiting for ages. But in the meantime, we've got your episode 5s. We've got loads of episode 5s from kids all over the world, which is great for us.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Camilla, you had another question. What did you?
Hi again.
Hello.
How long does it take to make an episode?
It takes quite a while, actually, because of all the programming that has to go into telling the story. So the whole process from beginning to end, certainly with the longer episodes, because you probably noticed that episode 4 is longer than episode 1. So with episode 4, that takes about 3 months.
Whoa.
Because it has to be written, and then you have to create the music and do all the images and put it all together, and it takes time. It really does take time.
Okay.
Damon, did you have another question as well? Okay, and then we'll then you.
Hi, me again.
Hello.
Hi, I was just wondering, because you were talking about Chris Joe earlier. Who is Chris Joe?
Talking about Christian.
Chris Joseph. He's the guy I work with. He's really talented. He does all the music for the stories, and he also does the programming for the stories. So he's really the person who builds the episode. I do the writing and the story structure and the sort of ideas behind it. But Chris does the, like I said, the music and the programming, and he's really good at what he does. I hope you like the music. I really like the music in the episodes, and Chris Joseph does all of that himself.
Does Chris have a website so that we could go to?
Oh yeah. 391. It's the number 391.org.
Okay.
That's his website. And if that doesn't work, get Mr. Woods to email me, and I can send him the link. But I'm pretty sure 391.org, and you can see some of his other work there.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi again.
Will the story be turned into a book?
What do you think? Do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's so interesting that maybe the other kids around the world will like it.
Well, one of the things that we're doing is we're writing a series of stories that are set between episode 1 and episode 2, and these are gonna come out next year, and they're set in Australia. They're about a year when Alice lives in Australia when she's about 10 years old. So this series of stories is we're going to be publishing those next year, and those might be more suitable for coming out in an ebook or something like that, because they won't have as much interactivity as the actual episodes do. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
I think the problem with turning the episodes into a book is that what would you do with the music and the games and the interactivity? Where would that go?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, we seem to have quite a few extra questions here. I hope you don't mind.
Hello, will you make an episode about Inanimate Alice in New Zealand?
Well, there you go. You never know. We'll have to. Would you like that?
Yes. Yes.
I'll have to put that in mind for future episodes.
Okay, thank you, Damon. Mohana?
Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. You have inspired us to keep on reading stories and online ones as well.
Well, I really enjoyed the episodes that Mr. Woods sent to me from your class to see. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of those. And thank you for your interest in the project.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good day.
Okay.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
night. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Do we go past